Good morning, and thank you all for watching our third annual Children's Memorial Day ceremony. My name is Jenna Aguilera, and I'm the director of Lassen County's Community Social Services Department. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and to finish out the awareness activities, we gather on the fourth Friday in April in remembrance of all children who have been lost so tragically to violence. This day is known as Children's Memorial Day. In a few moments, after some short words by our speakers, we will raise the Children's Memorial Day flag and have a moment in silence for those young lives that were tragically cut short by violence. We will first hear from Sheriff Dean Growdon from Lassen County Sheriff's Office, then Krystle Hollandsworth from the Mikailia Child Advocacy Center, and ending with District Attorney Melyssah Rios from the Lassen County District Attorney's Office. Please welcome Dean Growdon as he will read the proclamation.
Good morning. As Jenna said, I'll read the proclamation adopted by our legislature, the resolution creating Children's Memorial Day. It was adopted April 23rd, 1997 in House Resolution number 25. Whereas throughout America, tragic acts of violence against children are occurring with increasing frequency and senselessness, destroying innocent lives and devastating families and communities. And whereas the people of the state of California have lost too many children in violent, preventable deaths through guns, fire, automobiles, physical violence, and suicide. And whereas the people of California believe in the celebration of life, diversity, and hope for the future through our children, and deplore and condemn acts of violence committed upon the children of our communities. And whereas on November 1st, 1996, Alameda County and the East Bay Regional Park District dedicated a Children's Memorial Grove with the planting of young oak trees and the creation of a stone circle of remembrance as a place of peace and honor to young lives lost. And whereas Alameda County has created a Children's Memorial flag to be flown whenever a child's life is lost to criminal violence, now therefore be it resolved by the Assembly of the State of California that in memory of California's children who have died by violence, the fourth Friday in April is hereby proclaimed as Children's Memorial Day throughout the state, and be it further resolved that the Children's Memorial flag be flown on this day each year by the state in remembrance of those whose young lives were cut short by senseless violence. Through this resolution, the Assembly declares that the fourth Friday in April is proclaimed as Children's Memorial Day, and obviously that's why we're here today, and that the Children's Memorial flag be flown on this day each year in remembrance of those children whose lives were cut short by senseless violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Lassen County Community and Social Services and Lassen Family Services for coordinating this important event honoring young lives lost to violence in the previous year. Child abuse and neglect are difficult to talk about, but these conversations are necessary because child abuse and neglect are 100% preventable. As a nation, we are currently suffering from the COVID-19 epidemic, but our nation's children have been suffering from a far more pervasive epidemic for decades: child abuse. The perpetrators, their victims, and the reluctant witnesses form a complex and highly emotional relationship bound in secrets and silence. Statistics show 90% of child abuse victims know their perpetrator. They are not strangers, but people who often know each other well and play central roles in each other's lives. Many abusers live among us, hiding in plain sight, never publicly identified, despite abusing multiple victims over decades. This points to the existence of powerful long-term dynamics which cause the victims to remain silent. However, there are those that do speak out And as the coordinator of the Mikailia Child Advocacy Center and the District Attorney's Office, along with our law enforcement and child protection partners, we have the honor of working with these victims while they advocate for their safety and the safety of others. As we wrap up National Crime Victims' Rights Week and Child Abuse Prevention Month, I want to encourage our community to no longer allow child abuse to live in the shadows. Everyone plays a part in raising and protecting children who will hopefully grow to be strong and thriving adults. Thank you to the millions of people who advocate for children, and I want to recognize those of you that have spoken out and reported suspected child abuse. You may have saved a child's life. Angelica Reed from Lassen Family Services Director will be raising the flag.
Office of Child Abuse Prevention's vision is for each county in the state of California to participate in a moment of silence and reflection on this day to honor the young lives lost to violence. So many of our nation's children have lost their lives as a result of violence and neglect, inflicted oftentimes by the very people entrusted with their health and safety. So please join me now for a moment of silence. Thank you.